Someone shared this video which shows Biden's motorcade heading to his hometown for Thanksgiving. Biden was greeted by only a few supporters on the roadside. Someone wondered, why didn't the remaining 70 million Biden supporters come out? Someone replied, Biden's 79 million supporters actually have come out. It's just that we humans can't see them with naked eyes. Someone replied, they didn't come out because Biden was broadcasting live at home. It's just ironic that the candidate who claimed to have won 80 million votes had only 1,000 viewers online for his live broadcast. Someone shared that even 16 hours after Biden's speech was given online, the number of viewers was merely over 60,000. Someone thought that maybe it's because the Biden team forgot to promote it on YouTube. Someone mocked, in contrast, Biden's tweets received millions of likes right after they were posted on Twitter. Someone mocked, Biden's funds are actually all on the way to be mailed. Someone speculated, among the 1,000 viewers, most of them are perhaps those working in the media industry. Someone said, some of the more than 1,000 viewers may also be Trump supporters. Someone refuted, Biden supporters are in the cemeteries and the mental hospitals. Adding them together may make up 80 million. Someone shared that Shandong University allegedly conducted an AIDS survey since the implementation of the school companion system. The AIDS growth rate has reached 300% within just 5 years. Someone felt that this may be the reason why Shandong University can't recruit local students even after a 40-point reduction in the admission score. Local students knew the inside story. Someone shared that recently a Chinese lady working at Harbin Institute of Technology distributed chocolates to students on Thanksgiving, but a student threatened to report her because he cited that the school does not promote religious festivals and resolutely prohibits religious activities from taking place on campus. Someone replied, on the one hand, a female employee of Harbin Institute of Technology distributed candy on Thanksgiving. The school administration claimed that religious activities are strictly prohibited from campus, while on the other hand, Pakistani students studying at Harbin Institute of Technology celebrated the festival of breaking the fast. The director of the school's international education department attended the celebration. This stark contrast further proves that not only does the so-called one country, two systems exist, but one school, two systems also exist. Someone shared that in 2013, the CCP's Central Committee required universities across the country not to mention universal values, freedom of the press, judicial independence, civil society, civil rights, historical mistakes of the party, and crony capitalism in their curriculum. These are the so-called 7 don'ts. Someone replied, these 7 don'ts have been perfectly implemented by the so-called liberal intellectuals who fled China and are currently residing abroad. They did so in the name of defending justice. Someone said, some people have opposed and criticized me for supporting Trump's re-election campaign. I can accept these with humility, but none of these friends asked me why I supported Trump. Someone replied, among the various reasons provided by those who oppose Trump, a prominent one is that Trump is a Hitler-like dictator and is against democracy. Does he ever have the ability to silence or kill people? Someone replied, Trump has not been treated fairly, yet he has been determined and striving to fulfill his promises. Someone replied, we support Trump not because if he wins, he could help us do something, or because if he wins, we can change anything, but rather his victory means justice can still prevail. Someone shared that even Russian President Putin did not want to support Biden.
Было бы, на мой взгляд, необычным или могло бы лечь в основу.
Someone replied Putin chose not to congratulate Biden mainly because he knew that election fraud did exist and the Dominion voting system allowed it to happen. Also, Putin boldly show support for Trump this time. If Trump wins the election, it's likely that the US and Russia will join together. If this indeed happened, 60% of the world's problems may be resolved. Someone replied, Putin has the most accurate information from his intelligence sources. Speaking of intelligence, someone shared that the founder of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, once said, China is our real enemy. Someone replied, China's economy almost collapsed after the Korean War. It was for this reason that Mao Zedong, in order to prevent someone from seizing his power, began to launch the so-called anti-corruption campaign. Starting that time, China completely lost the ability to become the world's superpower. Someone shared this video clip from author Trevor Lawton in which he talked about how the CCP has been allegedly interfering in the US elections in a covert way.
The Chinese Progressive Association, working directly with the Chinese consulate in San Francisco, set up worked with a whole network of these groups in the key states. I'm talking Texas, Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. They set up groups specifically in these states to work inside the minority populations to flip these states. And they were very, very successful. Communist Party USA, which is also pro-China, and they have done massive voter registration drives in these states. They have signed up hundreds of thousands of voters, and they claim that they claim in their own writings that they won the election for Biden. They claim that they flipped Michigan, that they flipped Wisconsin, that they flipped Arizona. They boast about this. So these are pro-Chinese organizations working with the Chinese Communist Party to flip states. 7,000 volunteers. In Arizona, they made 8 million phone calls. They knocked on 1 million doors in Arizona alone, all generated by pro-Chinese communists. So they are just going out there on the ground, door knocking, phone banking, voter registration, shipping people around in buses to get them to vote at the polls, all perfectly legal stuff, but it's operated in the interests of communist China, specifically to elect Joe Biden, who they love, and to destroy Donald Trump, who they certainly do not love.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high